Hey guys, and welcome back to our Back to Basics series here on Farming Simulator 19. Today we're going to take a look at consumables and basically how do we use them in our implements and vehicles. So when I talk about consumables, I'm talking about things like seed, fertilizer, lime, herbicide, etc. Various pallets. We can find those here in the shop under objects, big bags. We have a big bag of pig food, big bag of oats, wheat, seed, solid fertilizer, and a big bag of lime. Also have pallets. We have a pallet of liquid fertilizer. We have a pallet of liquid herbicide. We have a pallet of seed. We have sapling pallets, poplar pallets, and sugarcane pallets. Now we're going to cover some of these specialty pallets in the 200 level videos, but really we're most focused on in this video are basic consumables, which will be liquid fertilizer, liquid herbicide, seed pallets, which are one of my personal favorite that have been added to the game to use, and then the big bags of seed, fertilizer, and lime. Let's go ahead and just get a big bag of seed. You're going to see this is $900 for 1,000 liters of seed. And let's get a pallet of seed. This is 2,100 liters of seed, and it's $1,890. So it's just a little bit more than double in price, and just a little bit more than double in volume. Here we have our big bag of seed and our pallet of seed. Basically, we're going to use these in the same way. They're just kind of being presented in a little different format. So in order to move these around, we're going to need a front loader. Got our tractor here with front loader arms and a pallet fork. You also have some other options with respect to handling these pallets. Under vehicles, under miscellaneous, actually have a forklift that we can use. We also have options like skid steers that we could then put skid steer pallet forks onto. Options like telehandlers, various types of telehandlers that we could put pallet forks on, or in the most extreme, wheel loaders with pallet forks. And then we have kind of a hybrid little wheel loader that is basically kind of between a telehandler and a wheel loader, or between a wheel loader and a forklift, basically. Just kind of a little small, underpowered wheel loader. Now, what do we do with these? Basically, there's a couple ways that we can work with these. We can simply fill our seeder directly from these. We can transport these back to the farm and basically just have a whole bunch of these stored at the farm that we can use. Whatever we should want to do. Buy a seeder just to demonstrate this. I'll buy this D830. And for the rest of this video, I think we're just going to use the forklift. I'm going to introduce that piece of machinery. We can hit in, open the door, on our seeder, get in our forklift, where the forklift works. Left mouse button up and down. Left mouse button left and right. Got our seed on our forklift. Just bring it over here. Actually put it literally over top of the seeder. And we should see seed flow in. Not quite over it because of the seeder and everything, so let's try to get a little work. Now we are filling our seeder with seed. And once the volume is emptied out, then the bag of seed will vanish. Now most of our implements also let us empty the seeder, so we can hit I, we can unload it. And now we have emptied our seeder and we have our bag of seed back. Another way we can fill our seeder is we can just drive up next to a pallet or a bag, and this works with fertilized spreaders, fertilized sprayers, herbicide sprayers, lime spreaders. You'll see we have R, refill. So up next to it we can just hit R, and now we're basically filling our seeder as if we were basically emptying it, bags into seeder. Now what's interesting is if we unload this, we're going to get another big bag. Okay, it doesn't give us little bags on a pallet, it just gives us a big bag. Other things we can do is we can transport our seed in a couple different ways. We could, if we wanted to, take our seed and buy a whole bunch of seed here at the shop, put it in a trailer like this. See, the bag of seed is emptying into the trailer. Problem is that our farm silo will not store seed. Once we have seed in this loose format, we can't unload back into a big bag from here. The thing we can do is tip the ground. We technically can't even tip the ground at the moment because we don't own this land. Okay, we're gonna have to drive back to the farm and do a tip to ground there. And once we have it on the ground, we're gonna have to pick it up with a bucket and basically put it into the seeder. That's not really that desirable of a way of doing things, right? Once we're over here, we own this, so we can do tip to ground. Get ourselves a little pile of seed. Get our bucket. Then basically we can pick up our seed with our bucket And at that point, we could dip our seed into our seeder. Go back to the shop and do that very thing. And thankfully on Ravenport here, or sorry, Felsburn, shop is pretty close to the farm, so we're not going to waste that much time. So you can use a bucket as another way to fill your seeder, your fertilize spreader, your lime spreader, so your solids. You're not going to be able to use a bucket to fill your liquid inputs. So, now to transport your pallets back to the farm, you're going to need a flatbed trailer. Well, we really don't have a flatbed trailer in game per se, but what we can do is we can customize this Strataman trailer. Come here to the shop, you can go to customize, and we can change its capacity to a flatbed. And now it's a flatbed. You can also change this trailer to hold up to 12,000 liters worth of product. Now that we have it in a flatbed, pick up our big bags, and this process would work for any of the big bags or pallets. If you had a fertilized sprayer, you could buy a pallet of liquid fertilizer and fill it either by pulling up next to it. Might work to hold it over top of it. I don't know. I've never tried that. Once we have our pallets on our trailer, we can walk up to the trailer. We can hit R when we see the green straps appear. Now we've effectively strapped it down. Those bags won't fall off. Drive it back to the farm. Unload it, store it wherever we want, and basically make use of the seed at a later date. Now, with respect to lime, we do have lime pallets at the shop that we could fill our lime spreaders with, just like we do with our seed and fertilizer and herbicide. Or we could basically take them to a bulk buy point. So on the map, typically you're going to find these lime stations. You're going to find buildings that look like towers that look like this. Lime silos. What this is it's a bulk lime buy point. What we can do is we can buy fertilizer spreader. Takes lime. And there's a few of these on Ravenport and a few of these on Felsburn, which are the base maps. Typically mod maps will include lime buy points also. but it is not a requirement. You'll be able to identify those typically by the white icons on the mini-map. So on Felsburn, there's one in the lower right by Port Southeast, and there's one to the north by Port Northwest. We're going to go down to the one by Port Southeast. May I ask, is there a benefit to getting lime from one of these lime stations? Well, I have to say, I'm not sure if there is a price savings. We're going to try to identify that here in a moment. But there's definitely a ease of use benefit than buying, let's say, 5 or 6 pallets and having to fill from pallets. You can just pull up to one of these stations, hit R, and have it fill directly. The trade-off, you would say, is going to be you have to drive down here to one of these 2 locations. Going to pull up next to it. I'm going to hit R, start filling. Lime. $380 for about 2,000 liters of lime. $450 for 2,000 liters of lime. So it seems to be definitely cheaper to get lime from a silo station. The reason I don't remember is because typically I don't play. My play style isn't governed by getting things the absolute cheapest way possible. It's going to be more of a convenience for me if I would use that station. That's how you can basically buy the lime in bulk. And I guess there's one other consumable that we should really be talking about in this video before we close it out, and that is fuel. So all of your powered vehicles are going to use fuel. The in-game fuel usage is pretty low. You're going to need to run quite a lot of hours on your vehicles to run them completely out of fuel. But fuel is a commodity that does get consumed. That's worth talking about. And I really should have grabbed the other tractor. Wasn't thinking. What we're going to do is we're going to grab the other tractor. We're going to run up to one of the fuel depots, the fuel stations. This tractor has 4.6 hours on the engine, and we're probably used about a quarter of the gas or fuel. On this particular map, there are 3 gas stations. We're going to head up to this one by the grain mill. There's one also in town, and there's one up by the biogas plant in Port Northwest. All right, just cut the video real quick so we could get up here to the fuel station. Real simple, but if you don't know what's going on, you might run into problems, just pull up to the pump. You see R to fill. Now take a watch at our fuel gauge. $71 in fuel, and now we have a full tractor. Alright guys, so I hope this has helped you if you were a little unsure on what you did with the pallets, how you refilled some of these implements that needed filled, like seed, fertilized spreaders, fertilized sprayers, herbicide sprayers, lime spreaders. Fill those all with pallets from the shop. Transport pallets around on a flatbed. You're going to need a forklift or a wheel loader or a telehandler or front loaders with pallet forks in order to move those pallets around. Just pull up next to a pallet, hit R to fill from it, and most of those items, most seeders, most planters, most spreaders and sprayers are going to allow you to empty them. For example, if you have a fertilized spreader, also does lime. Well, if you're done fertilizing, then you can unload it and add lime to the spreader and do your lime, unload that, go back to fertilizer whenever you would so wish. Let me know in the comments what you think of the video. Has it helped you out? And until next time, happy farming. Be sure to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell.